lesson, we look at have to, must, and must not, followed by an exercise to check your understanding. First of all, have to is not an auxiliary verb. It uses the verb have as a main verb. We include have to here for convenience. And must is a modal auxiliary verb. Have to for objective obligation. We often use have to say that something is obligatory. For example, children have to go to school. Use of have to. In general, have to expresses impersonal obligation. The subject of have to is obliged or forced to act by separate external power. For example, the law or school rules. Have to is objective. Look at this example. In France, you have to drive on the right. In England, most school children have to wear a uniform. John has to wear a tie at work. In each of the above cases, the obligation is not the subject's opinion or idea. The obligation comes from outside. Structure of have to. Have to is often grouped with modal auxiliary verbs for convenience, but in fact, it is not a modal verb. It is not even an auxiliary verb. In the have to structure, have is the main verb. The basic structure for have to is subject, auxiliary verb, have, and to infinitive. Look at these examples in the present simple tense. She has to work. I do not have to see the doctor. Do you have to go to school? Next is must. Must for subjective obligation. We often use must to say that something is essential or necessary. For example, I must go now. Use of must. In general, must expresses personal obligation. Must expresses what the speaker thinks is necessary. Must is a subjective. Look at this example. I must stop smoking. You must visit us soon. He must work harder. In each of the above cases, the obligation is the opinion or idea of the person speaking. In fact, it is not a real obligation. It is not imposed from outside. It is sometimes possible to use must for real obligation, for example, a rule or a law, but generally we use have to for this. Structure of must. Must is a modal auxiliary verb. It is followed by a main verb. The basic structure for must is subject, auxiliary verb, must, main verb base. So now we are going to do some exercise. Number 1, yesterday I finished my geography project. Number 2, she will wait in line like everyone else. Number 3, all employees on time for work. Number 4, we forget to take the chicken out of the freezer. Number 5, if you are under 13, you to get your parents' permission. Number 1, yesterday I had to finish my geography project. Number 2, she has to wait in line like everyone else. Number 3, all employees must be on time for work. Number 4, we mustn't forget to take the chicken out of the freezer. Number 5, if you are under 13, you have to get your parents' permission. Thank you all for joining my class. Bye bye.